Welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So a couple weeks ago, I picked up this little R-8 chuck, and we put a new arbor on it, and we were testing it in the mill for run out. And we noticed kind of an interesting thing is when I clocked this in the collet, we saw some differences in run out. So what I did was, oh, by the way, welcome to another episode of new tool acquisitions, okay, and it's not this. So I went and bought some Lyndex Collets, a couple of sizes of Lyndex Collets, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to prove to myself, or at least understand, what kind of differences there were between brand new, good grade collets and the ones that I have, which are kind of unknown. They're not marked. We don't know what they are. So what I thought we'd do is take a look at these Lyndex Collets and compare them to these ones that I've been using for a while, the Unk and the Unknowns, and see how they stack up, and do some run out checks with them, and just do a comparison. So let's go over to the mill. Let's check this out and see what we can see. Okay, so here's the collets that I got. And like I said, these are Lyndex's R8s, and these I just got 4. These are the sizes that I use probably most often, just to kind of see how they are compared to these ones that I got with the milling machine. So let's set those aside for a sec. Let's look at this 1/2-inch one, because that's kind of one that we were looking at the other day with that R-8 chuck. We'll take it out of the packaging, and there. Oh yeah, of course I don't have a. Oh yeah, I do. I got something here. They're well packed, that's for sure. Okay, so they got some lube on them that I want to clean off before we do any measuring with these. So let me get something to clean these off, and then we'll test them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to give it a shot of stare at M1 here, and it's lube and rust preventative. Give it a little shot of that. And this will help break down the crud that they seal it in. Yeah, it's already feels smoother. Oh yeah. Well, these look pretty nice. Nice grind on them. It's looking real good. So we'll compare them for accuracy. I'll clean the other one too, just to make it a kind of a fair test. It probably hasn't been cleaned in a while. Alright. Okay. Let me grab the other one, and then I'll clean that one, and then we'll get something up in the spindle and check this guy. Okay, so there's our 2 collets. This is the old one, and then this is the new Lyndex. And just kind of examining these here, they actually look very, very similar. And just looking at the general markings and whatnot, this one isn't actually marked Lyndex anywhere in particular. And then looking at a couple of things like, for example, this staking right here looks very similar, right? And also the kind of the rear end of these guys. Let me see if I can hold those up in a reasonable way. It looks very similar too. So this very well could be a Lyndex collet. I don't know. It came with the machine, so I'm not sure of its brand. So I think what we'll do is we'll check the old one first, and write down what we get from that, and then we'll pop the new one in, and we'll kind of do the same thing with that and see if there's any improvement, and see if these are worth the extra money here Well, like I said, this could be a Lyndex, I don't know. And I'm just making the assumption right now that it's a offshore brand, although I don't know that for sure, so. All right, so let's, and I cleaned this out in here too, just so you guys know. Put that in there. And then what I have here is I have a gauge pin, a 1/2-inch gauge pin, and then I also have a little short section of 1/2-inch hardened Thompson shafting. So this is like a linear bearing rail here. It's very hard on the surface. They're typically pretty straight, and they're nice and round too for the bearings to roll in it. But let's try the gauge pin first, since that's you know, something that everybody. All right, so I'm going to leave about a finger's length sticking out of the bottom, and then I'll snug it up, kind of normal, my normal torque there that I would use. All right, and then let's do a little run out checko here. Let me put that in neutral. Alright, let's run up here. Now let's see, can I turn it here? Let's see, can you guys see that? Yeah, you can kind of see that. Let me, I'm going to move the camera and I'll zoom in a little bit and you guys can get a better look at that. Alright, let's come up on that again. Trying to reach around the camera here. Okay, let's try that. Basically, we're just looking for a run out there. Well, that's what that looks pretty fleeping good there. So what I'm going to do is I'll take that out again. Get that out of the way. And I'll take it out again and I'll clock it. And then we'll try that again. I'm just going to clock the pin a little bit, and I'm just using 1 finger length stick out. All right, kind of normal torque there. Let's put this guy back up. Hopefully I can get back in the similar spot there. Okay. Put it in neutral. Alright, just a little bit of movement. But, you know, it's in the kind of in the tenths range there. Alright, so that's pretty good. So, now, we might have to switch to a fancier indicator here to see any problems here. The other thing we can do too is we can extend out a little farther, which kind of magnifies these effects, and see what we get with that. So, all right, well, let's see. That one looks pretty good. Now what? All right, let me put something in there longer, and then we'll do this same deal here again. Okay, so I found a 1/2-inch high-speed drill blank. So these are generally pretty straight and true and round and everything. So we're going to stick that in, and then my gauge length here is just going to be my paw here and 4 fingers, okay, up to the collet, just so we kind of test these both the same way, same amount of stick out there. All right, and then that's you know, I don't know, what is that, about 5 inches or 4 inches? Okay, 4 inches. We're about 4 inches out of the out of the collet surface. So I think what we want to do here, since we want to kind of magnify the effects here, let's do our checking down at the kind of the tip here. And I probably need to move the camera a little bit, don't I? Yeah. Well, you can kind of see that, huh? Well, I don't know. Let's go with that for a sec. Let's see what we get here. Okay, now we're getting something out of that. So I don't know, 2000s at 3 3/4 inches. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna so I don't get confused here. I'm just gonna put a little blue mark on the bottom here so I know which side I've been sticking out of the sticking out of the collet there. All right, so I'm seeing 2000s there. Let's we'll clock it and reseat it. Okay, clock it about, I don't know, 90 degrees, something like that. Use my paw gauge here to reset it. Okay, retorque. And then we'll swing in here. You know what, I'm just gonna be a bad videographer and tip the camera a little bit instead of restarting everything there. Okay. All right, neutral. Let's see what we get here. It's about the same, about 2000. So, okay. All right. So, all right. I think maybe we might have a protocol here that works. Let's switch over to the Lyndex. I'll reframe it and more politely, and then we'll test those Lyndex collets. All right. So I got the Lyndex collet in there now. This is totally in my way. One paw length, or in my case, one hoof length. All right, same torque, or very, very close with my calibrated fist there. You guys see that all right? Yes, not too bad there. All right, let's kick it in neutral. Let's see what we get here. Looks about the same, 2000s there. Yeah, 2000s. Okay. And then let's do a clocking on this one. And that's the same end as we started with on the other one. Okay. Paw length. Alright, probably doesn't matter too much there. Okay, now that's interesting. So just by clocking that a little bit, we're down to zippity doodah there. I am touching, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, now that's interesting. All right, let me clock it one more time and see if we can get our 2000s back. So, interesting. Okay. Okay. So that should be close to, I don't know if that's quite back to where we started, but I suppose I could put a degree wheel on there and we could do it that way, but I don't think we want to putz around quite that much, or futz around. Okay, let's see here. Okay, a little bit. All right, it's less than 1. So clocking position seems to play a reasonable part in this, and maybe not necessarily. So this one, this other collet here, I think was consistent 2000s no matter where we clocked it. This one has certainly some more favorable spots without testing every single degree. But let's see, what do I want to say here? The collet goes in the spindle in the same place each time, and then what we're changing is the tool or this test rod in relation to that. So let's see, if this is bent, what happens? So if this has some curve to it, if we're sticking it out the same amount, we should see that curve regardless of where we, if the collet is good. Let's just put it that way. So there's probably some error in the collet. There's probably some error in the bar or the tool, and then you can either be in phase with those or you can be out of phase with those. So clocking your tool is always a good thing. If you're looking for low run out. And we see this with ER collets and other collet systems, okay? So this isn't like a oh crap thing. It's it's pretty common actually to see these kinds of things with collet systems. So let me change the camera around here. Okay, so I went back and I just bumped the machine. That's why it jumped so much. I went back and this is my old collet, the unknown brand, and then this is the Lyndex that we tested pretty well. So this one, the best that we saw in this was a couple of tenths by clocking the test rod in there, and the best I could do on this one was about a half a thousandths. So my conclusion here, this is Tom talking, is this is marginally better. And it's really not that much. This collet has been around for a while, so it could easily be worn that much too, right? So I wouldn't call that a significant improvement. Now, what I should really do here is buy a real cheap offshore one, a cheap known offshore one, because this could easily be a Lyndex here too, since they don't see fit to put their name on it, which seems dumb to me, right? I mean, come on. So these are made in Japan, okay, and by the Lyndex, well, for the Lyndex Corp, okay, and they don't bother to put their name in it, so I don't get that. Hardinge puts their name in it, and maybe a fair test or a better test would be to get a half-inch Hardinge R-8 and then a known Cheapco offshore R-8, and then kind of compare all three of those. Since maybe this wasn't a great test because this is kind of an unknown collet here. So so as it stands for me here in this shop is I certainly don't need another R-8 half inch. I'm in pretty good shape on that. So what I should probably do is get a another size or something in a well, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So if you want to see more on this, throw some stuff in the comments. Maybe I'll get another I'll get a Hardinge and an import, and then we'll kind of do the same test and we'll compare those. So let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching, guys.